say no.
People come to me for help.
Want to know what I think?
Yes, I do.
No, you just don't like to say no.
Did she get this from Mom?
I'm not like her.
Sadie's planner, Mom's planner.
Or is it all her?
What if you're doing this because you're arrogant? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. How you doing? Well, my first guest says she strives to be the best at everything. When I say strives, that's not a big enough word for her. And she does. And she is the person that everyone counts on. The problem is, she says she just cannot say no. And the pressure to please is completely stressing her out. Now, 22-year-old Sadie sent a video introducing me to the three sides of her. There is the beauty queen running for Miss Florida, the high school teacher, and the budding politician who hopes to someday be president. Check out her submission tape. In all the years, I have never had a guest sell herself quite so earnestly.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story. I'm going to introduce you to a couple people who are going to add up to tell you why I'm a 22-year-old with the health problems of someone who's probably much older. But the first person I want to introduce you to is Pageant Sadie. Pageant Sadie ran for her first title in April 2015 and won, so we'll be competing in Miss Florida in 2016. Teacher Sadie is a 10th and 11th grade world history and American history teacher at a Title I school. This is the definition of stress. I cry almost every single day about the lives that I am opened up to. I know I'm making an impact, but I spend so much time with these kids and at school that I often put their needs before mine. But piggybacking off of that, not piggytailing, this is the third Sadie, and this is Politician Sadie. And Politician Sadie knows that she can make the greatest amount of good and difference from a more official platform, and that is on the school board of Manatee County. I am the youngest person who's running for office right now. That is also the definition of stress. Since I've run, I've been in the papers for being accused of being, a criminal, which is not true. My heart hurts just talking about it. I have heart palpitations all the time because of things. I start thinking about them and then I get anxiety over them. If I don't get help soon, I'm not going to live to make the impact that I'm hoping to make just through these three aspects and organizations. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, this is, oh my God, Dr. Phil. The several sides of Sadie have her so full of stress that she has been hospitalized not once, not twice, not three, but 6 times. Passed out in the middle of the street and warned by her doctor that she could end up with heart disease by age 40 if she keeps up at her current rate.
I've always been an overachiever. My day starts at 4 o'clock in the morning and typically ends around 11 o'clock in the evening. I live by my planner. It almost acts as my security blanket. When I was in high school, I was at the top of my academic class. I was in a sport every single season. I worked, and I also took college classes at night. I don't know how not to be driven, and sometimes that does have a physical toll on my body.
So we're putting together care packages for them, and we're going to go out today and deliver them.
I can't say no when people ask me for help, even when my health is at risk. One night, I had such bad chest pains, I really thought that I was having a heart attack. We went to the emergency room, and it was just stress. I've been to the hospital many times. A cardiologist told me that I was at risk for coronary heart disease. The last time I called my mom when I was leaving the emergency room, and she started yelling at me. She told me that it's not fair to watch me kill myself. My biggest fear is if I don't slow down, I could be dead by the time that I'm 40.
Okay. So what's your goal today?
To hear what you have to say about it, affirmation that what I'm doing would be wonderful. I have a feeling that's not what you're going to say. But really knowing how to function in society and be a achiever in society and be able to not be killing myself at the same time.
Okay, so why do you think you have such a hard time saying no? Because what you said in your letter to me and all was that you just can't say no to people.
I can't say no to people when they come to me for help.
Okay, so you can't say no because you think the world needs you.
Not me, but a vessel of help, and I'm willing to be that vessel.
So you say if you're not doing something about what needs to be done, who will, right?
Exactly. I don't trust, well, I wouldn't say it's a trust issue. I just don't see enough people who are willing to go out there and do something, because a lot of people, we live in the culture of the big me. And that's very sad, because we put our needs before other people who are out suffering all the time. And I'm faced with that reality every single day when I'm in my classroom with my students that I love.
What do you do for fun?
Well,
What's your guilty pleasure? What do you do for fun?
for fun, just everyday life. Sometimes before I go to bed, I read a book. That's
Were you the kid in school if the teacher said, I tell you what, if nobody has a question, let's have a little extra recess today? And you went, were you that kid?
I always have questions.
I knew it. I knew it. I always had one of those girls in my class.
I'm sorry on behalf of everyone who ever took recess away for you. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't think you mean that. When I saw Sadie's mother Jennifer's memorable submission video, I saw a real similarity. Let's take a look at this.
I'm Sadie's mom, and please forgive me, but I'm driving. I don't even have a minute to pull over and do this. Anyway, that might be why Sadie has a problem. She has a mom like me, but I will be careful. Hey, I just want to let you know I am so glad that you're taking on this challenge of chilling my daughter out. I've been trying to do it for about 20 years now. She can't say no. Anyway, please help her. She needs to learn how to say no, and maybe I can learn from her. Ciao.
So, how do you think she's doing in life?
Oh man, I think she's doing great in life. She's successful at everything she's done thus far,
Really?
except for athletics.
That's not true.
Just saying.
That's not true.
What's not true?
I was good at sports.
Oh. So, how's your love life?
That's funny. I've never been on more than 3 dates with one person.
You don't mean it.
I
bet you have a lot of first dates, though.
don't want to be unfair to anybody, so usually I put everything up front and I say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm involved in. I can't afford to be serious with anyone right now.
Of course not.
So usually, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then by, a week goes by and we still can't find a time to go grab coffee. It's like, okay, we cannot date.
Right, because you're too busy.
I'm too busy. I am.
Yeah, because you didn't do something and it wouldn't get done, right? Or you can't trust somebody else to do it.
I don't want to rely on somebody else to do something when I'm perfectly capable of doing it.
Right. How you doing in your social life, friend-wise? Got a lot of girls you hang out with, yuck it up, pizza party?
I have a great group of girls in my life, but our relationship exists mostly over texting and phone calls. Or I see them at church.
Okay, let's take a break. Sadie brought some books to the show, and I found them very important. I'll show you what I mean when we come back. Did you go to the hospital because you got an A- in high school?
Yes, I did. Psychology.
Yeah. Yeah, go figure that. And later, you know what the bubble over my head is right now? Do you want to know?
Yes, I do.
No, you just don't like to say no. What if you're having this approach because you're arrogant?
I've told Sadie that she needs to chill out a little bit. She's barely 22 years old. She just pushes and pushes and pushes. Her doctors have told her more than once, take a vacation. Do it now. She said, Mom, all of this stuff is fun. This is what I do for fun. I'd like Sadie to live up to her potential, but not at the cost of her health.
Did you go to the hospital because you got an A- in high school?
Yes, I did.
You got an A- in an AP course.
Yes, sir. Psychology.
Yeah. Yeah, go figure that. Okay, so you got an A- in an AP course, an advanced placement course in psychology. You got an A- and it stressed you out so much you had heart palpitations, became dizzy, wound up in the hospital.
Yes.
But yet, you tell me everything you're saying here you believe to be reasonable and rational.
Well, rational, maybe not so much. Reasonable, yes.
Okay, then why are you here?
Why am I here?
If you believe all this is just good, you're reasonable, rational, you're that vessel that's going to just fix the world, and you're out there and you've got it all going on, and you're just right there, Johnny on the spot, then why are you here? Did you just come here to tell us how wonderful you are?
No, okay. When I'm operating outside of myself, I think that
Because you
the
know
work
what the
we're
bubble
doing is
is
good.
over. You know what the bubble over my head is right now?
No, I don't.
Do you want to know?
Yes, I do.
No, you just don't like to say no. You just don't know how to say no. You don't really want to know the bubble over my head. Jennifer says she doesn't know why her daughter Sadie tries to do everything to the point of complete exhaustion when no one else in the family is like that. When I took a look at Sadie's planner, which she brought, and I don't know, I kind of thrive on activity, don't you?
I do. It's the only way I know how to function.
Yeah. And you're telling me that you think that's okay?
Physically, no, I know it's okay. Physically, my body tells me it's not always okay.
But head-wise, you think it's okay? Because you're a vessel.
Yeah, there's just, yeah.
Somebody's got to get that this is ridiculous.
I think it's kind of ridiculous. I've never said it wasn't. I think she does way too much. I like what she's doing, but maybe not quite so much all at once, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sadie's planner. Mom's planner.
Is that the pot calling the kettle black?
I'm just an old country boy. I don't know. I just kind of deal with basics. But you said, I don't know why she does it. Nobody else in her family does that. I don't know why she does it. I don't know where she gets this from. It just seems to me, no, I don't think it's reasonable. I don't know why you even suggest that I think it's reasonable. How dare you? I was getting the indignation in your voice. Like, how dare I suggest that?
She's busier than me, way busier than me.
Well, if this was a competition, then that'd be great. She would lose and
Right.
you would win, and that'd be great. But that's not what we're here for, is it?
Guess not.
Apparently. Do you think going to the hospital because you got an A- in a AP course and you stressed out to the point that you had to go to the hospital, do you think that's reasonable?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so would that tell you that there's something out of whack here?
Yes.
Would that tell you that somehow or another you're giving yourself some kind of message that, I don't know, you're taking yourself too seriously, that you're somehow or another, your gauge of what is a big deal versus what's a really big deal might be a little off?
Yes, possibly.
Yes, 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 yes. And you just go, oh. It's like getting that heroin high, but it's acceptance. And later, when you go home and you take your clothes off, you put paper towels down, you shuffle to the shower.
It's anxiety to know that I have to go home with all the germs of the outside world.
People are always kind of shocked when you step back and look at this from another point of view. Do you have the ability, you think, to look at things from a completely different point of view?
Oh, yes, I do. I have
Okay,
to.
what if you're having this approach because you're arrogant? Oh.
I disagree with that.
Oh, of course you do. But I'm saying just role play with me
Okay,
for a minute.
okay.
What if you're having this because you're arrogant? What if you're doing it because you think you're so important and have so much to offer and are so critical to the importance of the running of the world that you just can't say no, or things just won't get done? These people suffering in the world are going to be left twisting in the wind if you take a nap.
Well, if that were the case, then I'd be thriving off of affirmations. Absolutely.
You
And
would be caught in ascendancy. You would be someone whose self-worth was tied up in the need of approval from other people.
Right.
You would be someone that went from one fix to another, needing to see that acceptance in other people, needing to see that flash when you say yes. It isn't that you can't say no, it's that you have to say yes because you need that flash of approval. Oh, you are so sweet. We can always count on you. You are so wonderful. We always know you're the money girl. We can come to you every time. You can count on you every time. Yes, 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 yes. And you just go, oh. It's like getting that heroin high, but it's acceptance. It's approval. It's like, hooray for you. And so you get where you go from one to the other to the other. And if somebody puts a minus behind that A, that teacher doesn't think I'm wonderful. To the point that you unravel and have to go to the hospital because they only think you're slightly wonderful. I got a D minus in algebra in high school, and we had a party at my house. We had a party. They don't give out a lot of D minuses. I had a D minus, which meant I was eligible. And we had a party. I'm not joking. I got a D minus.
D's
I was
get
sweating
degrees.
it. Huh, what?
I said D's do get degrees just as well as A's do.
Yeah. Seemed to turn out okay for me. You probably wouldn't have come here if you'd known I got a D minus. Now you're taking advice from an idiot.
No. I don't think that about you or anyone, again, because I don't see myself as better. The problem with the minus, and again, I can see in hindsight how ridiculous this was, and I'm sorry that I put my parents and family through that, but the problem with the minus is that I knew I could have studied harder. I knew that I could have done better.
What the hell difference it make?
Today,
Yeah.
it makes none. Who cares?
Exactly. Not me. I don't care. I don't think any
You
less
shouldn't.
of you. I don't think any less of you because you got an A minus.
Right.
I think less of you because you took my recess away, but I don't think of you because you got a minus. Now, the number one need in all people across the board, number one fear is rejection, number one need is acceptance. We fear rejection. We need acceptance. Everybody does. We all want to have a sense. You can call it, people say, oh, I thought number one fear was failure. Well, is not failure, rejection, but you are at a point where you thrive on approval. It's not that you can't say no, it's that you're thriving on approval. If you just would give it to yourself, and let me tell you something, you will have a greater impact on the world if you will become more dimensional. You say you have these three faces. No, you are so one-dimensional. You are caught in ascendancy. You're like a machine. I gotta do more, I gotta do more, I gotta do more. You will have a better impact on the world if you become more dimensional. If you develop a sense of humor, if you learn to relax, if you learn to be more approachable, if you learn to be more relatable, if you learn to be less than perfect, people will relate to you more. You will inspire more people. You want to have an impact on the world? Then get over yourself. You sleep from midnight to 4 and get up, start putting your makeup on so you can hit the deck running at 6, right?
I can sleep like a baby through those 4 hours.
Oh, come on. I've always said, if I got to be alone, I'm not a bad person to do it with. If I'm alone, okay. I kind of crack myself up sometimes. But you have to fill every minute. You said that you are afraid of being bored. You're afraid that you're not going to have every minute filled. What if you had nothing to do and you were forced to actually think about yourself and life in the world? You might discover a whole new dimension of yourself. You got to give yourself permission to not seek approval every waking minute.
I just don't think I'm seeking approval. I know I'm not seeking approval because, yes, I'm involved in a lot, but I feel like that's what the world wants you to believe, that you need approval. And I know, because at the end of the day, whether I get a good job or a pat on the back, I know that I can sleep.
4 hours.
4 hours. And I can be proud of what I've done, and I can sleep like a baby through those 4 hours.
Oh, come on. You sleep from midnight to 4 and get up, start putting your makeup on so you can hit the deck running at 6, right? This isn't working, right?
No,
Who else do you know that's been in the hospital 6 times for stress?
I don't.
Then based on results, this is abnormal,
Yes.
atypical.
Yes, it is atypical.
Okay, so try something else. You might find that the quickest way from A to Z is not at the most feverish pace. You got to lighten up, girl.
I agree. I do agree. That's why I'm here.
I mean, even your doctor told you you're headed for an early grave. You're going to wear yourself out. Your adrenal glands are going to explode. Your heart's going to explode. I mean, you got to calm down. You're even freaking out over little stuff.
I do.
Am I telling her the truth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, God.
Pretty much. I definitely don't see any arrogance in Sadie.
Of course you don't.
I don't.
I know.
I don't.
I know.
I know. I really don't. I think she's tired and too busy trying to be a servant, but arrogance?
So you think I got to do it because nobody else will?
You know, there's a lot of
Doesn't have a
slackers out
twinge
there.
of arrogance in it?
I guess I look at it from a different perspective.
Well, you know what? The rest of us are just going to kind of muddle along, and we're going to try to hold up our end as best we can.
Okay, thank
so
you.
you girls just bear with us. We're going to try to keep up with you as best we can.
All right.
Well, when you frame it like that, it
Hey,
certainly.
Yeah, I'm not like her.
What?
I am not. No, I say that. I wish I were more like her, is what I meant to say. She's more high-level service, whereas I do have more fun and have more Jen time than she has Sadie time for sure.
Okay, I'm going to put you guys in the front row. I want you to listen to everything that's going to be said in the rest of this show because it's all meant for your ears. I'm going to talk to this young lady right here. I put you there because I wanted you hearing everything I've been saying to these two. You know why, right? So I'm not through talking to you, so you need to listen because you don't want to be asked a question and not know the answer.
Absolutely not.
Because I'm going to grade your paper.
It's going to be an A.
I'm going to grade your paper. Imagine living your life terrified of germs to the point of washing your hands until they bleed, or filling every day with rituals to avoid shoes, toilets, garbage, or anything else that might contaminate you. You've even been down that road at one point, right? You didn't want anything touching your plate. You didn't, I mean, they're just, we've been down there. We've tried that perfection. That is the world my next guest, Courtney, says she has fears and phobias that are tearing her family apart. So we're going to talk to Courtney right after the break.
I wash my hands a lot. I wash them so much that they start to bleed. I always take my shoes off here. So those are my feet. And this is me sliding my way to the bathroom. I went through a checking phase that lasted probably about 5 years. I'll go check the stove and I do it the same way. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
My next guest, 25-year-old Courtney, says her fear of germs causes her to spend her days avoiding shoes, toilets, garbage, and especially anything that looks or reminds her of vomit. Now, Courtney thinks she has OCD. She says she was diagnosed at 8. I've read everything about Courtney, and you might be surprised what I think. Here's what Courtney has to say about her fears.
Living with OCD has been agony for me. Things that trigger my OCD behaviors are spit, marks on the ground, garbage cans, people's shoes, hotel rooms, puke. I'm really, really scared of vomit. Having OCD is very expensive. I wash my hands a lot. I use a lot of soap. On a good day, I'll wash my hands 30 times. On a bad day, I'll wash my hands maybe 200. I wash them so much that they start to bleed. The pain is almost soothing for me. I went through a checking phase that lasted probably about 5 years. I'll go check the stove and I do it the same way. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I was pregnant, I got really bad. I was so scared of everything when my son was first born. I would wash his baby bottles hundreds of times a day. My boyfriend, Patrick, tries to be as accommodating as he can. Pat and I were going to break up at one point because my OCD was too overwhelming. My greatest fear is that I'll lose my family. OCD has taken over my life.
Well, ironically, Courtney's chosen profession seems to contradict her fear of germs because she cleans houses. She cleans other people's homes, but says she is incapable of cleaning her own. That task is primarily left to her boyfriend, Patrick, who you will meet soon. But first, when Courtney comes home from work, the fears return and the rituals begin. Take a look.
When I get home, I have rituals. I always take my shoes off here and I make sure that my socks don't touch them. And they're there just so that I don't have to step in that room at all. I lay my paper towel out and I take my socks off. So I make my pile of clothes. This is actually another pile from yesterday. So those are my feet. And this is me sliding my way to the bathroom. I don't grab a towel because I'm dirty, so go in the shower. I will not grab a towel before my shower. I have to grab it afterwards. Put my paper towels in the garbage. And then I have a shower. Once I'm dressed, I grab some disinfecting wipes and I wipe down my keys. I wipe down my phone so that I'm ready for my son to come out of his room.
All right, Courtney, you go and clean houses, and it's not an issue for you there, or certainly as much there, but you come home, then you begin the rituals.
Yeah. And then I
That
just
you don't
literally
do-
like, it's anxiety to know that I have to go home and touch my own home with all the germs of the outside world.
when you go home, you take your shoes off, then you take your socks off, then you take your clothes off, you put paper towels down, you shuffle to the shower, you take 3 or 4 showers.
No, I shower in the shower. I shower 3 times, so like I do it like in a way
Right.
that I can remember that I did it.
But you don't do that anywhere else.
Oh yeah, it kind of follows me everywhere.
At customers' houses, you
Yeah,
strip,
I wash my hands 3 times.
But no, do you strip naked at your?
No.
So that's just at home.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
made a list of your current fears and phobias so we would kind of know. Puke, spit, puddles, marks on the ground, shoes, bottoms of pants, toilets, garbage, bags, detergent pods, public restrooms, drooling, smelly, nasty dogs, hotels, wet floor signs, chicken, health professionals, drunk people, sick people, puking, things like that. Well, Courtney and her boyfriend, Pat, have a 2-year-old son, and they both wonder how Courtney's fears of germs and constant rituals will affect their child. We'll talk about that when we come back.
My friend and I are in downtown Toronto, and we were supposed to go out. And I just had a meltdown because she wore her shoes in the hotel room. And I won't go anywhere now. We spent all this money for nothing. And she's really mad at me, and I feel really awkward, and I don't know what to do. Like, I really can't go anywhere, but I really want to try, and I can't.
Well, that was Courtney's emotional reaction when a getaway with a girlfriend ended abruptly. Why? Well, her friend made the mistake of stepping into Courtney's hotel room with her shoes on. Now, Courtney's boyfriend Patrick says because of her daily rituals, he's forced to take on most of the household responsibilities, including caring for their 2-year-old son.
The things that Courtney does are make sure light switches were turned off, the oven was off, her hands were just cracked, bleeding, because she washed them so many times. I think the pregnancy set off some hormones. She couldn't scoop the cat litter. She was afraid of the laundry room. When we first moved in together, she accused me of cheating. I think it happened because having OCD, it's kind of an anxiety disorder. While she was pregnant, I considered us not being together. I didn't think she was healthy. It was like she was going crazy. If I had known about Courtney's OCD, it would have halted my desire to commit to a relationship with her. I would like Courtney's OCD to stop controlling her life. Something needs to change.
Pat, it's good to meet you. You really care for her very deeply, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to be with her and you want her to get better.
Our therapist told us that I was to help her see what normal was because she doesn't know what normal is. But it doesn't seem to work.
Do you think you can get better?
I think that I could for sure. And I don't want to be that way. I don't want to. It's just, I have no choice, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You do have a choice.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about here. First off, I think we tend to live to our labels sometimes, which is why I hate labels. It's kind of what I refer to as iatrogenic labels. These are labels that can create more damage than that which it seeks to describe. It's like if you write mentally challenged in a child's school record, then the teachers see that, they start treating that child differently. There's been a lot of research that shows that. The label itself creates more problem than that which it describes. And sometimes we live to those labels. And I don't know, I just know there are behaviors you have that you want to change. I have video of you coming home and entering the house without putting down paper towels.
Yeah, for sure. Some days I'm okay. Some days I clean a really dirty house.
You don't react to something until you label whether it's good or bad. And what that means is if you change the labeling, you change your internal dialogue, about how you're labeling what happens in the world, you can change your reactions. You could even deal with a vomiting chicken if you changed what you said about it. I don't want a vomiting chicken around either, but you could change, if you change what you say about it, you can change the way you react to it. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's really happening with Courtney? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that when we come back. Patrick, and we're talking today about how we represent the world to ourselves. I've got someone in the audience that I want to introduce. This is Dr. Frank Lawless. You've all met him before. I have him here an awful lot. Dr. Lawless is the chairman of the Dr. Phil Show Advisory Board. He's the co-founder of the Lawless PvP&P Center. He's one of the leading experts in the world on PTSD and OCD. And so I asked him to come here, and I think there are some strong neurological components to how we represent things to ourselves. Until something happens at a neurological level to break her out, she's not going to be able to overcome this, is she?
No, you have these neurological patterns, they become interlinked. So our approach would be, like Courtney, would be to teach the brain to separate those.
Yeah, and this is what I want everybody to understand. We have triggers, and with you, your triggers are, you have a certain standard that you live to. And I've teased you about it, but you hold yourself to a very high standard and give yourself no respite whatsoever. And there are things that trigger stress reactions in you. And these are physiological reactions as well as psychological reactions, and they're bad for you. And here, she has such well-learned triggers. This may have started when you were 4. It may have started when you were 8 or 9, when there were things going on in your life that were not okay. And sometimes we try to organize the external world because we think that that will make us feel organized in our internal world. But the problem is that conditions the brain to a pattern, right?
Yes.
But you can break it where you wash it and you go, wow, they feel clean. Let's go do something. You don't need the other 299 times. And then what do you do with all that extra time?
Fun activities.
Well, you could go help her fix something. You two could be pen pals. You could fix everything right up. All right. Now, before we go, with Turkey Day just behind us and your waistband expanding in front of you, but you don't have to avoid those holiday parties out of fear that you can't turn down that pint of eggnog. You just got to have some reason about this. During the holiday season, you can gain anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds. Even conservative estimates are 3 to 5 pounds. Don't come out of the holiday season at the other end bigger than you went in. You don't want to do that. You don't have to. All it takes is a little commitment and a surefire, no-kidding plan. And I'm proud to say I'm going to help you this holiday season, take back your health and get you through. Go into it with some defiance. Say, no way I'm getting bigger this holiday season. I do have a plan. It's called the 2020 Diet. Turn your weight loss vision into reality. Okay? There are 20 key foods that can help you. Among these foods are some that research is telling us, emerging research is telling us, creates what's called thermogenesis. They burn hotter, they burn faster in your body. There are certain foods that are time release, which means they last longer, so you're not hungry real quick. And the best part of the 2020 diet is it's real easy to follow because I've broken it down into 3 phases and I put the dots so close that there is no excuse for failure. And most importantly, if you eat these 20 foods for 20 days, you're not going to be hungry. That's what you hate about diets, right? Is you're hungry. You don't have to be hungry. So that's the plan. It's the 2020 diet. And in the spirit of the holidays, everybody here is going home with a copy, okay? Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.